Everybody sees the wedding photos, the perfect portraits, the sunset sessions, the packed Instagram feed. But what nobody sees is me eating gas station pizza at 11:30 at night trying to back up 4,000 photos. People think photography is just taking photos, but honestly, that is the smallest part of the job. Today, I want to talk about the side of photography that nobody else really ever talks about. The exhausting, the boring, the stuff that actually determines if you survive in this business. If you're not shooting, you're editing. And even if you are shooting, you're still editing. A lot of newer photographers think that this job is just traveling around all day making art. The reality is, you spend the majority of your time in front of a computer screen questioning your life choices. A wedding day can be 8 to 10 hours of being on your feet, and then another 10 to 20 hours worth of editing. And after all the editing's done, you've still got all the organization, you've got all the deliverables, you've got ordering photo albums. There's a lot more to it than a lot of people understand. The mental load is something that a lot of people, I think, tend to overlook. I'm talking about that pressure to be able to capture the moments. Make sure you're having the first kiss. Make sure you get that photo of grandma crying. Make sure you get the correct photos of the dad seeing the bride for the first time. These aren't photos that you can recreate. You can't just say, hey, let's do this again. There's no my bad, let's redo it. You're carrying a lot of pressure on you to capture those moments. And at the entire time, you gotta remain calm. Or inside you might be thinking, I really hope this camera doesn't explode. It can be a lot of pressure, and it can be a lot of pressure that a lot of people can't handle. I think a lot of newer photographers coming into this don't realize how much pressure there is on you when photographing a wedding. Another part that a lot of people don't seem to understand is the business side of photography. Being a professional photographer is maybe 30% of actually having your camera in your hand. The rest of it is dealing with invoices, contracts, emails, different contacting through messengers and text messages and phone calls and video calls. I spend a lot of time right here at my office conducting my business. You very quickly will realize that being good with your camera does not mean you're going to be successful. You need to be good at marketing. You need to be good at SEO. I see a lot of fantastic photographers that are not doing great because they don't understand that marketing side of it. Then on the flip side, I see run-of-the-mill photographers absolutely killing it because they understand how to market. And that right there is something that brings down a lot of photographers. When you know that you are good at what you're doing, but you don't seem to be booking as much as the photographer down the road, and then realizing that it all has to do with the way that you're posting on social media, that you're running ads or you're not running ads, which I talk about that a lot in my videos. Running ads are an extremely important thing. Knowing when to run them, how to run them. That's gonna make or break your photography business. Then there's the physical side of it. A lot of people tend to forget that a wedding is 8 to 10 hours being on your feet. That doesn't include the time loading everything up beforehand, driving to the venue, the drive back home, the unloading the equipment, backing up the photos. Your back hurts, your knees hurt. Wedding hangover is real. And a lot of times I get up the next day and I do it again. I've had weekends where I would shoot a wedding on a Saturday, drive 500 miles, and shoot another wedding the following day. It definitely does take a toll on your body. And then you think that, okay, the weekend's over, I have some time to rest. But you don't. Now you need to get your editing done. You need to do video calls. You've got different client communications that you're doing. And then the weekend comes along and you are doing it all over again. And then for someone like me, I do more than just shoot weddings. I do take on limited portrait session stuff, and I do some stuff here in the community. Just this past weekend, I drove around to the 5 largest towns within my county to capture aerial photos that are being used for the fair that is coming up. Then on top of that, I am spending about half the week out at the fair doing portrait sessions for families. So where I thought that I was getting a little bit of break during the summer, it's turned into a whole nother endeavor that I don't even want to get into in this video. I am going to try to make a video on it where I show selling prints, doing mini sessions at events like this. But it is another great way to supplement your income. So this right here is a really big one. Social media will mess with your head. You're gonna see photographers that have better edits, better locations, better poses, better lighting, better everything than what you are doing. And it absolutely kills every photographer who gets stuck into this cycle of trying to compare themselves to the other ones that they see out there. They need to try to remember, just like you, these other photographers are posting the absolute best work that they have. Just because on a random Tuesday they posted a photo that has an amazing location and this perfect lighting doesn't mean that you don't have photos just like that. So do yourself a favor, when it comes to social media, use it as a learning experience. Consume that media. Look at those photos and analyze them. Try to see what is it about the pose, the framing, the composition, the lighting that makes that photo so appealing. Don't try to compare yourself to somebody who's been photographing for 15 years longer than you. Try to learn from them. See, a lot of photographers that burn out because they're constantly trying to compare themselves to somebody who's been shooting for 10, 15, 20 plus years. Now, with that all said, I absolutely love what it is that I do, and I would trade it for nothing. I love capturing moments that I know people are gonna look back for years to come. I love getting to interact with all of the different people I meet. I love getting to travel around and see new places. Photography has honestly taken me on some of the best adventures of my life, and I would trade it for absolutely nothing. Now, yes, sometimes it's stressful, it's exhausting. Sometimes I'm up until 1 a.m. just trying to back up all of the photos. You spend way more hours than you would ever think running your photography business. But it's something that you are truly passionate about and you truly want to do, at the end of the day, it really doesn't feel like work. Now, if you're a photographer, post down in the comments something that somebody didn't warn you about with this job. Something you didn't realize you were going to be doing all the time when you picked up a camera and decided you wanted to make this your life. Now again, I try to post these videos at least once a week when my schedule allows me to.